Hello, my name is Patrick Haight. I'm the owner and developer of Capo Web Development, and I'd like to walk you through the teacher side of DaCapoMusicFestivals.com. Your first interaction with this software is going to be to click the word register and register for a new teacher account. There is a password or an access code that you're going to need to register, and this access code can be obtained from me by emailing support@DaCapoMusicFestivals.com, or your zone representative or music director might have the access code. Once you enter the access code, you'll be brought to a page where you can type in all of your personal information. I recommend that you use your school email address. That way, if you ever misplace your password and you have multiple email addresses, you'll know that you hopefully used your school email address to reset your password. The next thing you'll have to do is select your county where you teach in, and then select your school district, and then a list of buildings will populate. If your school district is not here, or your school building is not here, you're not going to be able to register for an account at this time. So please click right here to submit a help ticket and ask that your school district be added. So I'll select my district, my building where I teach, and I'll enter my home address, or my work address. And then I can click to register for an account, and I can print this page out as a reminder of my account. You will also receive an email rather immediately with your account information. So the next step is to click here to log in, and let's log in with that new account we just created. And we'll hit login. From here, there are several items on your main menu on the left. If your screen is too small or you're zoomed too far in, you're not going to see a main menu on the left. You're going to see this four dashes. From here, that's where you can access your menu. So I'm going to zoom back out, so that way I have the main menu always on the left. Here I see my DaCapo teacher ID. This will become useful later in your usage of this program and as more features get added to this program. Right now for my homepage, I can see all of the festivals that are in my zone. I can see that for many of these festivals, the registration deadline has passed. It's just a good thing to see right here. I also have the name and email address of the festival host for all of the different festivals that are in my zone. This is a Google Maps link that can be clicked to find directions for any of these festivals. We can see the festival start date and the registration deadline. Near the top right are things that I will post that I feel are important notes for teachers. First off, there's a DaCapo documentation section of the website. You can reach out by clicking here or by clicking over here. There's a link to the NISMA All-State Online application and a link to the NISMA Students with Disabilities form. These are going to be on your top left, the Register Modify Students and the Registration Schedules and Ratings. Those are going to be your two most visited tabs of this whole website. So let's first register a student. You can do that by clicking here, Register Modify Students, or by clicking here, Register Students. They're both the same button. I'll click. So I'm going to select the festival that I'm going to register for, which in this case is going to be the Demo Festival, and the building that I want to register students from, which in this case is Cordello Elementary School, the only building that I checked off in my profile. From here I have to enter information about the student that's performing the audition. The evaluation type, we'll make them do a brass solo. Level 2. Instrument would be trumpet. Student name. And the grade level of the student. From here, this is all I have to do at this moment. If I want to come back later and enter in other information about the student, I can. So let me show you how to do that. We'll hit Register Student. And now the student, if I scroll down, These are all the students registered from Cordello Elementary School. If I teach in multiple buildings, I'd have to select a different building near the top of the screen in order to see the list of students from the various buildings. If I want to edit this student, I can edit the student now. I can hit Modify Student. I'm brought back to this same screen where I can continue this. Email contact. The festival host has a function on the other side of the website that allows them to send an email message to this email address when the schedule's been posted. So this email address, be it the parent or the student or you, can receive notification when the schedule has been published. The title of the composition. So let's put in some things right. From here, now there's one other thing I'd like to show you. There's blue hover buttons all over the website. So anytime you hover over one of these buttons, it'll tell you what the field is designed for. There's a function on the website that if you enter the composition, you also have to enter a page number. If there's a solo not in the manual, you can simply type in the word comments right here if there is no page number. Time preference. All right, so you have Friday only, or the afternoon or the evening, and then on weekends your choices are morning or afternoon. You don't have to click a time preference, but you can if you'd like. Your accompanist. When you click here, you'll see a drop down of all of the accompanists that have been already entered into the festival. If you start typing in a name, just that list will come up by the name. What I'm asking, and what would be helpful for festival hosts, is if William Joel is already listed, don't type his name differently. Just click right here. If you type his name differently, it'll be more difficult for the festival host to schedule. Special needs, requests, and comments. You can type anything in here about siblings, or if a student needs time and a half for sight reading or for anything else. I'm going to leave that blank right now, though. So I'll hit Modify Student, and now that student has been updated. If you want to double check he's been updated, you can go right back to Modify Student, and you can do that. Now notice I registered a child named Test Hate for trumpet. Let's say this child's performing another solo. So I'm going to click to register. I'm going to register a vocal solo, level 2. Instrument would be tenor. Student name is Test Hate. And look what happened. All right, so what this just did is it looked for every child named Test Hate in Cordello Elementary School going to this festival. If this is the same Test Hate, then I can click that off and click multiple auditions. Now the student has been marked as multiple auditions, so he will get prioritized scheduling when the schedule is calculated. It doesn't have to be the same teacher doing this. If there's a chorus teacher that works as my counterpart, when she types in the name Test Hate, she'll get the same exact checkoff box right here. I'm not going to continue this student's registration though, so I'm going to back out of this. And that's the Register Modify Students page. All right, so if you ever want to register or modify students from the Demo 1 Festival from Cordello and you want to modify them or register or delete them. So to delete a student, you can only delete a student when it's before the deadline. If the registration deadline has already come, this delete button turns into a cancel button, which means the student's fee will still have to be collected and sent to the host or to NISMA or whatever the procedure is for your festival. But this student won't be taking up a time slot that can be used by somebody else. The next button down here says registrations, schedules, and ratings when available. So when you click here, you can see all of the festivals for which you have registered students, which in this case is just the one student that I've registered in the demo festival. And you can see any other available information. Right now, available info is blank. Available info would show if playing permits are available, or if a schedule is available for that site, or if the ratings have been published. It does show, however, that there's a download button. If you click that download link and you open up the file that comes, you can see all of the data for that student that has been entered by you. So if we expand all the columns, you can see the student's name, the student's fee, the piece that you're playing, his accompanist. You can also see the audition room and the audition time once the schedule's been released, and the ratings. So this Excel file will always update to the most current information available. Down here I can see all of the students that I've registered for Demo 1. This is similar to the screen we had before, but here you can go from festival to festival, and this is also not limited by building. So if I teach in several different buildings in my school district, I'll see them all listed right here. And again, I have that same modify button that I had before. That'll bring me back to that exact same page I was on earlier. I'll hit the back button. Or I can delete, or once the deadline is passed, I can cancel this student's registration. Once his registration has been canceled, the only way to uncancel a registration is to communicate with the festival host. They can do that. So those are these two screens. And that's where all of your functions are going to be handled. Once the schedule has been published, however, you do get another function or two built into this screen. So now that I've published the schedule, a couple of changes happened on this site. One of the changes that happened was that now we have available info. Here it shows you the schedule information is available, and here it allows me to print playing permits for the students that I've registered. The schedule is right down here. It's the same bottom half of the screen that we saw before, plus two additional columns, the time and the room. If you'll notice, besides the time, there's a circle icon right here. If I click this circle icon, what this will do is it'll allow me to switch the times of the audition between my students. So students that are in like rooms at like levels that are not accompanied. That's why I deleted the accompanist from this testing student. So if I click here, all right, test hate auditions at 4:40 p.m. If he physically cannot do 4:40 p.m., but this trombone student can switch and take his time, and that the 20 minutes will really help somebody out, then all I have to do is switch that time, and now test hate goes at 5, where the trombone student goes at 4:40. Some students won't have this blue circle icon. It explains it when you hover over it. It says that if a student is accompanied or is performing multiple auditions, you won't be able to switch their time. I can't switch this trumpet student's time with a flute student because they're not in like rooms. The flute student is naturally in a woodwind room, where the trumpet guy's in a brass room. So that's this screen. Once ratings have been published, and I'll publish them now, and then I refresh my screen, I'll see an additional icon right up here saying rating information is available. And here we can see that this student got an outstanding 27. These students just haven't participated in the festival, so that's why they have no rating right there. This available information, these logos that are right here, you'll also see them on your home page. So when I scroll down and find the demo festival, we can see that the schedule is available and that ratings have been published for that festival. And just by clicking the schedule right here, I'll be brought to that same page. The remainder of the website of billing, so these are all the festivals for which I've registered students. So the Demo 1 festival, this is how much money I owe either my coordinator of my department or that I have to send to the festival site. I have 3 students that are performing brass solos at a total of $48. So whatever the procedure is, you need a check made to NISMA or a check made to some entity who will write a check to NISMA. To Capo documentation, right over here. So this is a searchable database full of questions, frequently asked questions that I've gotten. And if you just want to search for ratings, here it'll bring up everything about ratings. It'll also tell you about how to download the Excel file and where to download it from. If you just click this link, you'll be brought here and you can hit that download button right there. If I clear out this search box right here, these are your teacher instructions. This is always linked to the most up-to-date version of the teacher instructions. If you want to modify your user profile, you can click right here and just read how to modify your profile, which is next on my list. So the profile's right here, and from here you can add buildings in which you work, or if you don't work in the building next to you, you can unclick it. Down here you can change your phone numbers, or you can change your password right here. The next link down is to Capo feedback. I'm always interested in what teachers feel about the usage of my program. So if you have any questions, or if there are things that seem difficult to understand, you can fill them in here and I'll consider adding certain features to the website. NISMA fees. This is a link to a page on NISMA, just so you can better communicate to your students what the fees are for various solos. And right here, if you click here to Capo newsletters, you'll be brought to my company website, where you can read about new features that have been added. Many of the new features that are added are for festival hosts or directors of music, but it is, I do like to share information with everybody that uses my program via this site. We are EdLaw 2D compliant. You can click over to data security and you can read more about the steps that I've taken for various security elements of the website. I'd like to share one more element of the website here about what if you ever forget your password or your username. That does happen from year to year. To find your username or password, you can just click right here, Forgot Password. And from here, did you forget your username or did you forget your password? In order to request your password, you have to know your username. So to do that, forgot username, enter the email address that you registered with. Hopefully you used your school email address. Click I am not a robot and get usernames via email. So when I click that, I receive the email. I can see that these are the various usernames that I've created using this email address. Which user account do I want to find the password for? I want to find the password for that one, for test hate. So, forgot password, test hate, I am not a robot, and reset the password via email. And in this email, I'm invited to click this or copy and paste this link. Once I do that, I'll be able to reset and just create a new password so I can access that. And that's the teacher side of the website. I think I've gone through everything. So I do invite you to view the user manual, which I'll provide a link for at the end of this video. And I hope you enjoy, and I hope you find it easy to use Da Capo Music Festival's NISMA registration. Thank you.